The premise of my blog and my books actually, it emphasizes the power of using your voice and hearing a voice. And I don't know how many of you guys have looked around on the site, but a large majority of the information found on that site is from my own personal journals. My own journals dating from over 17 years ago, covering the entirety of my addictions, including the origins, how they took root, how they grow, and my evolution throughout the years. And I'm willing and I'm ready to share my personal life experience with the world. The fastest way that you can gain empathy, I feel, as I had already quoted, Bill Boulard had said that the lowest form of human intelligence is opinion, and the highest form of intelligence is empathy, because it requires that you put down your ego and step into the life of another. And these entries will give a visceral and a raw and down-to-earth account of exactly what it is like to suffer the way that we do. Our internal thought processes, the things that torture us, that conflict us, that keep us bound. And I'm really excited to let people in, to see what it is like, because it is the quickest and the most surest way to step into that life. I did know that the statistical trajectory for mental health was already alarming. We've already had a very, very alarming mental health crisis. We've all known that. I did a paper last year, and the statistical trajectory of our mental health crisis as a repercussion of COVID-19 is very, very dire, and it's frightening. I strongly feel that right now, seeing as we've been affected by this global pandemic for over 2 years now, that the roots and the seeds of addiction are being planted as we speak. And I have this tremendous sense of urgency to get my message out, because we are hearing stories more and more all the time in the news. It's really alarming. You know, I was a sitter when I worked at the hospital, and there were so many more increased cases of mental health patients, and the pattern that I saw was that it was indeed not bias. Just as this virus is non-discriminatory, so too are the repercussions of our mental health. It won't just be for young children and teenagers. The repercussions will be undiscriminatory through all ages and all age groups, and I have seen that firsthand. That is why I do feel such a tremendous sense of urgency to, in a way, I feel like the best way that you can help a loved one suffering from addiction or substance abuse disorder or eating disorders or panic disorders, you can take the time to buy a self-help book. You can take the time to buy half a dozen self-help books and try to educate yourself about what's going on with your child. And that can be confusing, and it can be time consuming, and it could lead to a lot of dead ends. The whole point for my blog, with the question and answer forum that I'm designing, and it's still a work in progress because I don't have as much time as I'd like to work on it, is a free and open question and answer platform for both people who suffer from these ailments and from these illnesses, as well as the parents who are seemingly at a loss to help them. This is a site where you can witness firsthand, as I said, the quickest, I feel the quickest and the most surest way to gain immediate understanding of what goes on in the mind of your loved one, be it a friend, a son or daughter, child, aunt, cousin, anybody. Anyway, it's a work in progress, but I wanted to share this teaser with you. The first teaser had been about Olivia. I don't know how many of you saw that one, but this second one is a testament about how God works in mysterious ways, and his ways are higher than our ways. This journal entry that I wrote was dated March 8th of 2012, and this is what some of my feelings were over a decade ago. Today, my counselor gave me hope. She tenderly validated my feelings. She said she felt privileged to hear my words and that I was strong. Wow, liberation, food for my hungered soul. For an hour, I felt like it wasn't a burden just to be me, that I'm okay the way I am. To verbally hear that I am still a good person despite everything that I've done gives me just a small twinge of peace within my chest and a fleeting half smile on my face. For one precious hour, I was enough. My counselor thinks that I'm a good writer and that I articulate my feelings very fluently. She also told me I was smart and that I had a story to tell. Am I smart? It felt so good to hear, so pure. I want to do something. I want to be able to help not only myself, but other people who are bound to feel and think as I do. But can an hour of goodness and compassion really change the trajectory of my life? Or will it soon fade into fleeting memory? Encouraged by her kind words, I started to think more in depth about my life story and whether or not it would be something that people would care to relate to. Although this hypothetical book may or may not come into fruition, I find great comfort in having someone tell me that they believe in me, to tell me that I am more than merely the summation of my past mistakes. She told me that I had within me the potential to make a profound difference in this world. I drafted a few potential ideas for chapter titles for this book that may or may not come into fruition, if it is destined to come into existence. Some are better than others. Smile Practice, Silent Rebellion, Secret Keeper. Yet for some reason, I have found myself particularly drawn to this one, standing steadfast among all the rest, like a light on a hill that cannot be hidden, bringing joy into the lives of others. Who am I? I am drowning in Madagascar. I had thought about writing this book 10 years ago. The seed was planted 10 years ago. Heavenly Father knew where my life would lead me, and I'm extremely grateful for it. And I can't wait to share more and more with you as my story progresses.